The Eternal Warrior's Ring is an item dropped by Old King Doran at the Boletarian Mausoleum in Demon's Souls. It has the special effect of increasing the player's stamina recovery rate. The ring's description state that the old hero Doran, the protector of the royal family of Boletaria, was actually a demigod. This might not seem important, but this ring and the effect attached to it are an interesting way to explain how From Software use lore elements to justify or explain gameplay mechanics, as well as how they adapt the mechanic in question in each game. In this case, the explanation given for the ring having this effect is because Doran, as a demigod, had a better endurance than a normal human, therefore, wearing his ring allow the user to somewhat imitate that endurance. In the Dark Souls trilogy, a couple of items also have the effect of increasing stamina recovery, but with a different lore explanation attached to them. These items are the Chloranthy Ring and the Grass Crest Shield, and while they are different, we are told by their description that they gain their effect from the magic of nature. For the Grass Crest Shield, we are told that the grass crest is imbued with magic, which is what increase stamina recovery. And while we're not told directly that it's because of the plant them of the shield, the fact that the Chloranthy Ring have the same effect and also display a plant-based theme with its decorative green blossom, seem to imply that the effect come from a very natural form of magic. This theory that the magic effect come from plants is further confirmed by the Blossom Kite Shield present exclusively in Dark Souls 2. This shield have the same passive effect as the Grass Crest Shield but depict a blossoming flower, a rose, instead of the grass and leaves of the previous shield. Another item with a similar effect can be found in Bloodborne, the Hunter Rune. Its description is a little more vague, and simply state that this rune of Carol has been adopted by those who have taken the Hunter of Hunters oath. The only other Hunter of Hunters we know is, of course, Eileen the Crow, an elderly woman tasked to eliminate other hunters who have gone mad from blood overdose, also known as blood-drunk hunters.
T'es toujours là. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Un chasseur qui aurait peur de quelques monstres? C'est rien. La peur, c'est ce qui nous différencie de ces monstres. Qu'est-ce que tu fais encore ici? Arrête un peu de trembler dans tes bottes. Un chasseur doit chasser.
The hunters of Bloodborne are all known for their exceptional power and inhuman speed and endurance, physical abilities granted to them by blood therapy which they need to stand a chance against beasts and monsters of all kind. Their speed is especially important. We are told from the description of the wooden shield, that the beasts of this world are so powerful that any kind of shield is effectively useless, so hunters prefers to use their speed and mobility to avoid attack rather than trying to fight like a tank. The point I'm trying to make is that since hunters are incredibly fast and mobile, then a hunter whose job is to kill other hunters would need to be even faster and more mobile than them, which explain why the Hunter Rune give them that extra stamina recovery speed they need in order to have an edge against other hunters. Finally, the effect appeared again in Elden Ring, this time obtained from a talismans, a weapon and a consumable item. All three of which take their power from a pretty original source, not a boss or from a form of magic, but from one particular animal. The dog. The green turtle talismans tells us that turtles are known as a nutritious ingredient, symbolic of inexhaustible power. The great turtle shell, a shield, reiterate and tells us that the turtle is a symbol of tirelessness. Finally, the consumable item picked turtle neck, describe turtles as animals with endless power. It seems that in the lands between, the turtle is seen as a symbol for endurance, which makes sense given that this slow animal have to carry the weight of its shell all the time, therefore a tarnished warrior borrowing its power from its shell or a talismans would be able to replicate that impressive endurance like some sort of monk inspired by the power of various animals. As for the picked turtle neck we can eat, I suppose it's a play on the saying, you are what you eat. As I've said earlier, From Software has a tendency to explain anything through item description, even the smallest, most meaningless elements. In this case, The increased stamina recovery rate is just a gimmicky gameplay tool that can serve as a crutch for new players coming in different forms, be it a ring, a talismans, a rune, a consumable, or a shield weapon. But even for something so trivial, the writers took the time to explain where the effect came from, and remain coherent with it every time the effect showed up again. In Demon Souls, it is a ring imitating the exceptional genetics of a demigod. In Dark Soul, it's from the ancient and natural magic of plants and flowers. In Bloodborne, it comes from runes of the occult and is only given to a few elite hunters with a precise mission. And in Elden Ring, its power comes from an entire species of animal who are a symbol for inexhaustible power and tirelessness. It shows how much care is put in those games when even something as small as a gimmicky gameplay element receive plenty of detailed and coherent lore explanations to justify its existence.